We are back once more. Oh, that's what fell. That was what fell. I can't lose that. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. Once again, we're going to try this. It's been a night of technical and very odd difficulties. Now, to begin, once more, welcome everyone to the Fireside. I am W.R. Frady, and joining me tonight, joining me tonight are two special guests. We have, oh, sorry.
That's okay.
We have, did I cut you out, Clint? Okay, no, just cut it in closer again. All right, we have with us tonight 1/3 of the Coach Mickey Mel and Friends podcast.
Hi.
This is Melissa. Melissa, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Melissa Johnson. I'm, like he mentioned, I'm Mel of the Coach Mickey Mel and Friends podcast. And I'm an author and a photographer, and I'm really enjoying this so far tonight.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, which we'll get to in just a second. And back again with another response video is Clint Ferguson. Go ahead.
You guys know me. I've known Randy my whole life. William.
Good deal. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We forgive mistakes, and except for the technical difficulties which have been happening. But no, it has made tonight for a very interesting episode.
Yeah.
Already, we were kicking off a little late. We had, as you may see in the stories, we had a interesting turn of events while we were setting up. My camera is actually set up to pick up hand for to snap photos, and as we were setting up, it focused in behind us and then began snapping shots back to back to back to back.
Behind her.
Yes.
Behind me, apparently.
And so, and we've been sitting here trying to figure out what it is. We've been trying to debunk it to find out what was going on. Because the strange thing was after I picked up my phone, it quit. Then we moved it around. We checked everything that could have possibly set it off. I set it back down, and after that, it did not do any more pictures and things. So we've had some interesting technical difficulties. And then one of my platforms decided it was time to update right as I was starting. So anyway, welcome again to W.R. Frady's Live Ghost Stories by the Fireside. And tonight, we come to you from a very special fireside from the Granite Falls Brewing Company, the attic built in 1903 as a part of the original Pepsi bottling company. It's an attic that, according to owner Mario Mastrelli, in the original plans, it's not supposed to exist. See, it was a legal matter of why it's not supposed to exist. It was built 8 feet over onto the neighboring property, which Mario now owns, and it's a part of his property, but this is a closed off section of the attic. It was kind of a booger getting in. It has been interesting getting in, getting set up, and having everything ready. So, been a lot of fun. Tonight, aside from whatever other weirdness may go on, you never know what may happen. I always tell you that you never know who's going to be on with me, so I'd love a good warm welcome to everyone here. And I would like to welcome all of you. Thank you for coming on, joining us, and it is very much and very highly appreciated, because without you guys, there wouldn't be OWR Frady anything, much less live ghost stories by the Fireside. You guys have brought me through now 3 seasons, and hopefully we'll be looking into bigger and more fun things for the 4th season. If you guys demand a 4th season will be there, and it's really been a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's begin. There's a reason children are afraid of the dark. It's not the fact that it's dark, but it's the fact of not even being alone in the dark. On the contrary, it is a fear of not really, truly being alone in the dark. For as children see things that adults have willingly trained out of their minds and psyche, they still feel vulnerable to things coming in. Picture yourself once more at the age of 5. Mom and Dad have just laid you down for bed, pulled the door to. Now, we don't want to hear a sound. You need to be getting to sleep. The door closes. You might be lucky enough to have a feeble nightlight beating back some of the shadows. Otherwise, as the darkness falls over the room, suddenly a sinister hush comes over. An oppressive hush. You look over, and on the chair by your window is that the pile of clothes that you left sitting there before bed that you were supposed to put away, or is it something there, and is it breathing? There's something moving in the closet. Did the house just settle, or was there something waiting for you to shut your eyes, come out? It doesn't help when the wind is blowing and trees rake the windows like claws, just scraping and screeching to get inside. Yeah, there's a reason kids are afraid of the dark. Because they always believe that there's always something coming to get you. Which brings me to my first story. Would like to thank Granite Brewing for not only hosting us, but for the fine condiments they have provided as well. More on that after the stories. Have you ever had that feeling you weren't entirely by yourself? You know, you're walking along a path and you hear that strange scuttle of something in the bushes that you hear it, you know it was there. There's nothing, no animals, nothing nearby. How about when you're alone and you're looking out the window and you're enjoying the scene as the sun sets, but for some reason as the sun dips lower and lower behind the western horizon and the sky bleeds into a deep shade of crimson, a sudden uneasy feeling just makes you want to just pull the curtains too. Or how about that times when you know you should be alone, yet, and for all intents and purposes, you are alone, but some primal instinct tells you that you're not truly alone, that something is else with you. Have you? How about when you're alone and you're going down the walkway, or you're going down a hallway, or even in a room, and you've heard a voice that you don't recognize call your name. These things, I know they sound mundane, but perhaps they're the forerunners of something much more sinister. Now, I know you're probably thinking like a skeptic, it's the wind, it's, you just nerves, it's feelings. And after all, I understand being a skeptic, it's good to be skeptic. It keeps you from falling for things you normally wouldn't have. However, let you understand, I too was once a skeptic. And I know seeing is believing, and even then, when you see it, surely there's a rational explanation, and it can be explained away with some form of logic or reason. I know. I also thought that way too. Until that night, that month of November, just after Halloween of my senior year. My little brother, Brad, I knew something wasn't right with him when he began acting peculiarly frightened after Halloween. He kept addressing me about something or someone following him, and that he kept looking out and jumping at movements in the shadows. I should have caught that something was off, because Brad was never easily spooked. And yet, here he was, almost afraid of his shadows. But considering that it all began that Halloween, I just figured maybe someone had worn a costume and pulled a prank or something that had frightened him, and it had gotten to him a little more than usual, and he was having a little more time getting over it. After all, we all are afraid of the dark at some point in our lives. Well, as the week continued, Brad and I decided to take a walk up to Devil's Whispers, a waterfall outside of town that was pretty much a favorite hot spot. We would go up there, take a hockey stick and smack walnuts off the waterfall, and just go up there, talk, enjoy thing. And as always, we enjoyed our time going up there. And it slipped away from us. I remember this was a particularly normal Thursday, or so it seemed. And time slipped away, and as the shadows of night began to creep over, Brad come to me with a completely unusual conversation. "Jake," he said, "have you ever felt like someone was watching you and had someone or something calling your name?" "No, that's just, I'm scared, Jake. I'm scared." And I was like, "Well, tell me about it, Brad. What is there to be afraid of? What's going on?" There's things that are watching me. I hear them. And last night, Jake, I saw one of them in the window. "Oh, somebody's falling. Who is it? It's not a who. It's a what." "Okay, Brad, you're being kind of odd. What is it?" "Well, I know you're not going to believe me on this, but it's goblins." "What? Goblins?" "Yes, they're not even human. They're ugly and misshapen, and they're coming to get me, Jake. They're coming to get me." "It's okay. Somebody just, it's got to be somebody playing a prank on you. Brad, goblins aren't real. And so I tried to comfort him. And it kind of bothered me, and it kind of made me a little upset if some jerk was out there trying to make, really frightening my brother. So I assured him that I'd take care of it. And I told him, I was like, like I said, when I was smaller, I used to be afraid of this thing in the closet that I would see and hear all the time. Excuse me. And as Mom finally come in one night, and she told me that, not to be afraid of it, that it was something that she could, that I had to face. It wasn't anything to be afraid of. And so she handed me the hockey stick that we have with us now, and told me that if anything ever comes out of that closet, just to swing with all my might at it. And so I waited, and nothing would ever come out of the closet. So it's okay, Brad. I'll make sure nothing happens to you. Nothing's going to happen to my kid brother. And I tousled his hair, and he seemed to feel a little relieved. But as we started going home, the shadows really began to creep into the forest, and it was really, really dark. And it got to where we could barely see where we were going. Brad jumped at the sound of something cracking in the distance, and he's like, "They're here! They're here! They're following us!" And as he said that, something scurried off into the woods off beyond our vision, and it was almost a little unnerving for even myself. We made it home, and Brad was clearly shaken. Mom greeted us at the door, and her hands on her hips, and just, "Look, guys, if you're gonna start going out and staying out after dark, at least have the sense to take a flashlight with you. Now, come on in and get your supper before it gets cold." And so we went into the house, ate, and went upstairs to play the Nintendo for a while before bed. Everything was going normal, and once again we were big brother and little brother, and we played games from Super Mario Brothers to Contra, and just had a good time. And then, as night was waning on, Dad come in to let us know that it was time for bed, and he even assured us that if we didn't put up too much of a fuss in doing so, he would get us our own pizza for tomorrow night. Hey, who could pass up pizza? Well, we both agreed, and as Brad was getting up, he looked at me and said, Hey Jake, I'm really sorry about my weirdness earlier, and I know you said you're going to be there for me, and I thank you so much for being there." And he pretty much, if I'd known that what I know now, I would have listened more. See, little did I know, as Brad wished me a good night and told me that I was one of the best big brother ever for wanting to make sure nothing hurt him. As his footsteps went down the hall, sounding like trods of doom, it never occurred to me that Brad was telling me his final goodbye. See, shortly after Brad was gone into his room, I fell off to sleep, and my dreams were filled with dark woods and weird sounds, and me looking for Brad and not being able to find him. And I was awakened sometime after midnight by the sound of something rustling outside of my door, like an animal had gotten into the house. And I kind of dismissed it, and I wasn't thinking about it. But in the distance, I heard, Jake, help me quick, Jake. They're coming for me. So I tore out of bed and grabbed a hockey stick, and I was threw open the door, and began going down the hallway to Jake's room. And to my complete surprise and unnerving, there were these gaunt, inhuman creatures that were outside of the windows, and as I tried to make my way to Jake's room, one tackled me, and it was a great hairy thing, gaunt and with strong grip, and it was holding me down. It occurred to me that that Bradley was really in trouble. And so I swung the hockey stick, and thinking that it was going to pass right through this apparition, and was glad when I felt it connect and knock it off of me. And I went into Bradley's room, and I went in, and there were no less than a dozen of these misshapen, squat, shaggy creatures that were huddled about Bradley's bed. And there was a sack where Bradley should have been, and it was moving and shaking with a life of its own. And in defense of my brother, I went in swinging and fighting my best to do so, and I cleared them off. And they began to get away, and I was able to save Brad. I thought, as I began fumbling with the rope and getting him out, and I said, all right, Brad, I'm going to get you out because they're here. I fought them off. I've scared them away. Come on, you can come out now. And he's like, be careful. They're tricky. They want you to think that you've beat them. They want you to think that you've chased them away, that they've gotten away. And he's like, no, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that I've chased them off. And so I undid it, and as I brought it down, I could see the top of Brad's head, and I turned around and got my back to him and said, get that off of you so that we can keep watch. And I noticed that they were all huddled around the door. And I looked around, and I noticed that they were all watching us. And when I turned to see, I heard, I told you to watch them, Brad, and I told you to watch them, Jake. They're very tricky. And he turned around, and I turned around to reassure him. But what I was looking at wasn't Bradley. It was a particularly ugly, nasty of those misshapen creatures with a porcine face and shaggy, misshapen limbs. And in Bradley's voice, he said, I told you to watch out. That you weren't going to get rid of them. They're tricky. But then again, you didn't listen to Bradley to begin with. If you had listened to Bradley to begin with, he might have been okay. But then again, and he reached out with his hand, closed in front of him. Goblins don't exist. And this is all just a dream. And as he did that, a faint dust washed over me, and I began to feel faint and woozy. What did you do with my brother? I tried to say, and the hockey stick made a dull thud as it fell from my grasp. And all I could hear was them just laughing and gloating as darkness and closed about me. When I woke up the next morning, I was in my bed. Everything seemed to be back to normal. I mean, nothing had happened. But the events of the night before were vivid in my head. Why wasn't Mom and Dad able to come? Why didn't they hear the struggle going on? And I thought, well, maybe it was just a dream. So I got up to go check on Brad, but was met at the door with my dad coming in, his face telling me everything I needed to know. Jake, where's Brad? Where's Brad? Do you know where he might have went? And at that moment, I felt a cold just run down my spine. So I went in, raced into Brad's room as I had the night before, remembering vividly the battle that took place, the struggle I had. Mom was on the bed, clutching the note in her hand that was left. You were with him at the falls yesterday. Did he say anything to you, Jake? Did he say anything to you about why he would want to run away? And I was mistaken, run away. And I picked up and I read the note. Those damnable creatures, they covered their tracks by making it look like not that he had just given up on everything and run away. He wouldn't run away, Mom. This note's crap. I took the note from her and snatched it. And as the events played out in my mind, they flowed out, and I just burst out and told him what had happened. To this day, I don't know if they believe me. But I still look for my brother. They posted up missing posters like the ones you see in the stores for months. Maybe it was years, I don't know. But since then I've done my research and tried to understand what had happened. But I know you say you're a skeptic. But I also know too that you've been watching the shadows yourself as we've been talking. And I noticed that the way that your body and the way that you moved uneasy when I mentioned the voices. You're familiar with them too, aren't you? Here. Take this bottle. Be sure to stop at the graveyard on the way out of town and fill it up with graveyard dust. In all my studies and trying to find my brother, the one thing I have found out is if you take the graveyard dust and sprinkle it around your house, it will shield you against them for a time. If you're out in the woods alone and you hear the sounds, sprinkle it behind you as you walk so that they'll lose track of you for the time. You can believe me, if not if you want, but I know too, if you're hearing what I know you're hearing, your time is limited. And they're coming for you too. So, beware. Take care. And just remember, the goblins will get you if you don't watch out. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to read the full story of The Goblins Will Get You If You Don't Watch Out, it will be coming soon to the evanstonetower.com. The evanstonetower.com is the home for all things W.R. Frady. Be sure to stop in, check out all the pages. It's the home of Whispery Hollow and the Lovelady Township. It's the home of the Legends of Lacey Road. It's also the home of the Cantankerous Cauldron. So be sure to check in there, see what's cooking in the mind of W.R. Frady and what events may be coming into the future. Also, while you're at it, be sure to check into Wolf Moon Studios. Wolf Moon Studios will have featured artists, my own artwork, and other goodies such as music and things to come. I appreciate that. And I appreciate, again, taking time to check it out. And remember, the coming for you. Our next story tonight is presented by Clint.
Hey guys, so this is kind of odd. I had no idea what his theme for the stories were going to be, but mine is something coming for me. So I kind of got chills whenever you said the theme was something's coming for you, because this is definitely something coming for you. Now my story is probably going to be short and sweet. If some of you guys are Gen Xers like me, Gen X, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. We didn't exist. We existed before technology and all this stuff. And in the neighborhood where I lived prior to meeting William, it was a straight road, paved, had 6 houses on each side, all the way down to the bottom. At the top of the main road, there was a street light just like this. And neighborhood kids would be on our bicycles. There's about 5 or 6 of us. We would all meet at the street light. I don't know why kids back in the day made street lights.
It was a good hangout spot, kind of like dogs with fire hydrants.
Yeah, I don't know why. But we would hang out at the street light till probably back then maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock maybe. And then all the parents in the neighborhood would call their kids to come home. Hey, somebody had actually a bell. Ding, 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 ding. Dinner time, or get in here, you know, kind of like, Mom, boy, it's time to get in here. And so what happened is, of course, my house was at the bottom, and there was no street lights down the road. It was just at the top of the street. So I had to make that long walk every night home. Now, looking back now, it's not that long of a walk, but when I was 10 years old, I believe, I had to make that long walk, and it just creeped me out. And most of my friends lived up close to the street lights, so they'd go home, and here I am walking down the street. So these houses on the right side, I'm walking down, the house is over here. There's no fences or trees in between each house. So in between each house is completely wide open. Behind all the houses are woods. So I go down about the second house, and I happen to glance to my right, and this is a true story, by the way, and there's a wood pile behind one of the houses. And behind this wood pile is a shadowy figure. I can't tell what it is. It's just pure blackness. It's just standing there. So I say, well, is that... I kind of am disbelief. I don't know if it's actually my mind playing tricks on me. Is it a tree? Is it a bush? What is it? So I kind of look at it, and I shrug it off, and then I continue walking. Well, yes, you guessed what happened. As I'm walking, it walks parallel behind the houses, following me at the exact same pace I am. And so I said, well, trees don't walk. So I started getting creeped out and scared, and I picked my pace up, and then of course it picked its pace up, and I would get a glance in between each house. When the house was right there, I couldn't see anything, so I didn't know if it was trying to get closer. But for the majority, it would just stay right in the backyards of all these houses. Now, this is before cell phones. This is before pranks were popular. It wasn't my friends. We were all together. It definitely wasn't our parents. Our parents didn't do pranks like that. They didn't like us being out doing stuff like this. So I'm literally making this long walk home, which is what I was going to call the story. I think, isn't that one of your stories?
It is, but you can call it a long walk.
Okay. So I'm going home, and this figure is following me house to house. So I pick the pace up, it picks the pace up. It's literally jogging, running as fast as a 10-year-old can run. It's running parallel with me behind the houses. So my house is on the left, luckily. So I run, and then I can see it at the house straight across from my house. It's on the side of the yard. So I jump through the yard, slamming the doors open, run in the house, shut the door, scared to death. Of course, my parents, you know, what's your problem? What are you doing? So I tell my dad, you know my dad. Told my dad, said, there's something out there chasing me. Oh, there ain't nothing out there. That's just your imagination. No, it's not. So still to this day, I didn't go investigate. Now, William, he's different than me. He's a different breed. He'd have walked towards it. I probably, if I had a flashlight or something, I probably would have, but I said, no, I'm getting out. It almost looked like, well, it didn't look, I know it did. It almost looked like it had, it's not maybe a cloak or something. It wasn't just a head. It was something, some kind of fabric I could see.
Like a cow?
Yeah, something. There was something. It wasn't just like some person. It was like, it wasn't the Grim Reaper. But I mean, if that helped paint the picture for you, that's sort of what it looked like. And it just, but I could see it running. It was running with me. It kept the same pace I did. And I'm telling you, that was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I didn't go back outside. Ever since then, luckily, that was close to the time period I moved. So I didn't have to make that walk much anymore.
Yeah, you moved not long after you met me.
Yeah, no, I met even more creepy stuff. Yeah, got to stay at the Amityville. Got to stay at the Amityville house.
Well, the Amityville, North Carolina.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Like I say, it was just creepy because it kept pace with me. And there's actually a version of Sleepy Hollow. I can't remember which one, where that's exactly what's happened to Ichabod Crane. He's walking in the woods, and the Headless Horseman is walking through the woods right beside him. He's looking over and he sees him.
That's the original story.
Yeah, that's exactly what this was. And I don't know, I just, still to this day, I have no idea what it was. It wasn't somebody playing a prank. It wasn't the neighbor. It wasn't somebody's older brother. It was some figure that was there, and it was dark. I mean, it was almost pitch dark. So,
You're the skeptic, huh?
yeah, and I'm the skeptic, by the way. So that's why I tried to analyze it. I said, it's a tree. It's a bush. And then I kept walking, and bushes and trees don't walk with you. So, and they definitely don't run.
Not unless you're in Middle Earth.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's my story. It's a true story, I swear.
Did you ever have an idea of what you thought it was?
Actually, me and Clint really never talked. We've talked about it, but never enough to really come up and formulate an idea. Although there's many things in this, with the history that Granite Falls and the Unifor area has, there is no untelling of what it could have been. I mean,
now I will say this. Supposedly, I don't know if this was urban legend or this was just somebody trying to scare us kids, but supposedly, and you remember where I lived in Sawmills?
yeah, there's Jet Drive.
Yeah, Jet Drive, there you go.
I actually do work down there still.
Yeah. So behind, at the end of Jet Drive, there used to be a field before all these houses were built, and it was a little bit of woods, and there was like an old outhouse we used as a clubhouse out in the middle of nowhere, just like a old 1800s outhouse or something we used. And there was like a Frady, supposedly they claimed there were devil worshippers out there.
With the history of this area, yep.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
And honestly, that's what kind of came to my head, because that's about the same time period this thing chased me. So on one hand, I was like, is it a ghost or goblin, or is it somebody going to sacrifice me? Which, in my opinion, is probably scarier.
Absolutely. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, but it was definitely something in solid form that was running with me, chasing me. But it was like it was messing with me. It wasn't trying to get me, so to speak. It was just running parallel to the wood, trying to scare me. Now, I don't know what would happen if I would have ran towards you to cause bluff or something, but...
You never seen it again?
No, that's something William would have done. He'd have ran towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, and that's what half the time when we do stuff, we'll hear noise. And there he goes. What are you doing? You're that guy. You're going to get killed first in the army.
Or I'm going to do the camera.
What?
Okay, I'm going to fix the camera right quick.
Okay.
There we go. And okay, now you got us. Okay, Clint, you might want to draw over this way just a little bit. Maybe turn
No,
the
you're
chair.
fine. I'm fine. Yeah.
Second. All right.
My turn, huh? Well, I was kind of thrown for a loop. I'm not a great storyteller like he is, per se. Campfires keep you on the edge of your seat. My stories come from my fingertips, like the thing. But
Hey, much
I
read,
can.
I do too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, very eloquent. Much like Clint's, mine comes from a true event. And I debated about telling this story only because of what could happen. So I am, and I'm going to admit to it, I am going to change a few things about it just because I don't want to go through that experience again. True story, and it happened recently. It's one of them, it was just boring days, you know, it's just same routine. You get up in the morning, you drink your coffee, go walk the dogs, you work, you come, just so boring, same thing. But that afternoon, I leashed my dogs up. We took them for a walk around the block, same route. It just so happened this particular day, happened to see something at the end of one of the roads in our neighborhood dead end, and happened to see something there. Now, I am a photographer. I love history, and I do really love looking at antique photos and trying to, you know, imagine these people during their time. So it just so happened I saw a couple boxes, a couple bags. I'm curious that I am. Oh, I'm gonna see what this is all about. So I'm marching down there with my dogs. Of course, one of them was not enthused about going that direction. He wanted to go the other way, but dragging him down there, I happened to take a look. No one's around. And I opened it up, and I saw all these glorious pictures. Events, vacations. Oh, so these must have been lost because they were stacked up nicely. Because we lived close to a storage facility, and you know sometimes people get things and they take them and drop them off in the neighborhood. I'm like, oh, you know, these are so great. I think I'm gonna try and find out who they belong to. Maybe someone just dumped them from the storage after they, you know, got it, you know, on auction or whatever. I'm gonna find the owners. So got them. Ended up getting them and taking them back to the house, and I was kind of excited about it. So that night I was going through them and trying to find information because I wanted to contact them. So no, here you go. This is for you. I found them. They're sacred, you know. I was going through them, and I'm like, interesting. Okay, so I put them away, and I went on to bed. And I remember that I was in bed, and I was just going through social media, you know, catching up and everything. And my dog was laying at the end of the bed. I have a video of it, of myself. He started just kind of like looking up, looking around, looking back, and he growling.
That was when, is that the stuff that was going on that you were telling me about back when we were on the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
That was when that was going on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen up guys, this is interesting.
So, I'm like, okay, so I'm always in tune with, you know, the animals always seem to know because you can't. They're just normal. He's just gonna look at something. He's done it before in the house of other incidences, but this particular one, he started growling really low. But it was his movements because he was like looking up and looking over and looking back, and then he'd stop and he'd just stare. He would just stare, zoning in on it. So I'm like, okay, I got out my phone. That's what I'm always doing, is trying to get this on evidence. So he did it for a little bit, and then it's like, okay, I couldn't stand it anymore. Had to get up, and then nothing. Of course, you know, doors always locked. No one's really there. Nothing. Okay. All right, I'm creeped out, so I leave up a light on at night when I sleep. So I leave night lights on. I do not sleep in the dark.
Kings and queens used to do it during the Middle Ages. There's a story behind that.
Yeah. So the next day, you know, I'm just doing my normal stuff, and decided to go back down there and tackle this box again. Going through and getting information, and I noticed there was a particular odor associated with the stuff suddenly. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just change, you know. So I started taking everything out, put everything in a new container, and went on about my business. Well, I was decided that I had wanted to go take a nap that afternoon, migraine, all this kind of stuff. So I went upstairs and I always set my alarm, 30 minutes. I don't want to oversleep, it's 30 minutes, get my mind straight. So I laid out, my 2 dogs, they laid next to me, passed out like that. Passed out just like that. It never happens to me. It always takes, I stay awake for 20 minutes and then I fall asleep for 10. But suddenly I heard something deep in my sleep and I jerked awake like nothing. When I did, my eyes popped open so fast and it scared me. It's just like an instant fear.
Yeah, kind of when you just do that.
Jolted awake. Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
One dog was laying here in front. I was on my side, and my back was to the door. And he perked up about the same time. My eyes popped open, and he growled. And then I slid my gaze right quick to the other dog, and they were both of them were turned, and they were both facing the door. I heard a distinct throat clearing. Very loud, very manly. It was a man's deep-throated type of voice. And I felt like I was going to come out of my skin. It's just, I was really afraid. I thought someone maybe had walked in the house. It was just like that. So the dogs, I set up, the dogs took off, but it's the same thing. It's like they heard it, they recognized something, but there was nothing there. I'm getting really, really wigged out. So I called my mom and I was telling her a little bit about what I found, and I had actually not done a lot of research to find the people or whatever, but I had gone through it and I found a few pieces of paper, and I was telling her, and I happened to mention what I saw on a piece of paper. And she said, I think you should obey his wishes, the note. So this particular note basically said, and I'm going to extrapolate, I'm not going to do exactly what it said, but basically upon their passing, they wanted everything disposed of. And, at first you're like, oh, you didn't really think nothing about it. It's just somebody just wants to keep, just give it to them, decide. They let them take care of it, type thing. So at this point, my mom was like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Because I told her what's happening. She said, I think these are signs. This is or somebody's telling you something. So I'm like, you know what? You probably are right. So that evening, when my husband had come home, I was telling him about it. Now, we have 2 bathrooms, and they're back to back. He was in one bathroom, soaking in a tub, and I went around to the other bathroom. And I was in there, like, brushing my teeth, and he was like, I heard a voice go, hey, it was his voice. What? What do you want? I'm in here. What? He suddenly said, that was not me. And I said, what? He said, that wasn't me. No, you're lying. You're lying. That's what I thought. He said, no, seriously, that was not me. He heard it too. He said, well, the TV was on. Just rewind the TV. You could rewind it, go back, see if somebody said, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Because in my brain, I'm thinking, if it's not on there, I'm getting out. I'm leaving. But, so at that point, we both made the decision to abide by the wishes. So, we did. We moved it along to the next area. But I think the biggest thing was the whole fear of this person was so serious about, all of this, that they literally came back to just let me know better abide by that note. And we did. And literally, when we put the boxes out, the boxes, bags, whatever out, never had another incident regarding that again. I mean, it was just, it was so noticeable that, it really was fearful, because I did walk around the house feeling that someone was always watching. But you're tingly on the back of your neck. You always feel someone was like right up on you, like kind of like maybe here earlier.
Yes, definitely.
You know it deep down in your psyche that there's something a little off, and you can't.
Walking down the hall of the old house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the same thing even there at that house. I had a lot of sleepless nights there. I mean, you just could feel it. You could see it. You could feel it there, and so you just know it. And the eyes just constantly feel like somebody's watching. That to me is about as scary as the disembodied voices, but I don't know. It's always hard to tell.
Yeah, the incident with Brigitte is what actually was closer to one of my fears, except for I was waiting for it to happen on the second floor. That was when she was asleep.
Yep.
And she and I were talking.
Did you hear that?
I was just hoping that all of you heard that too.
I heard.
Yes, we just had a knock on near the opening of the door, and just to let you know,
It's about 20 feet up.
we are about 20 feet up. The ladder that is our access has been moved to the side so that the guests and patrons of the brewery can enjoy, can go by. And we just had kind of like a rap or a knock come from over here in the side. There have been ghost hunts done here in the building, so we'll have to get with Mario and find out kind of some of the things that went on with that. But
I always feel like I'm always looking behind me. I don't know why.
Clint's noticed that I've been kind of glancing around too, because it's just
That corner creeps me out.
That corner creeps me out.
there's something back that way. Every time
Well,
I
I
turn
keep
around, it
seeing
feels like there's
shadow.
something moving there.
Well, every time I'm watching her tell the story, I'll see, because I can see the ductwork shiny right there. And every
then
now and then
something
I'll see,
moves.
and every now and then I'll see a shadow.
Well, the whole thing earlier with the camera, and it was focusing
Right behind.
right behind us, right behind our head. And so it's another one of them things of like, oh, someone's behind me. And I keep looking behind me.
You got the good seat.
Oh yeah. You can definitely feel the
So
history.
basically, you pawned off the spookiness to somebody else, so somebody else picked the stuff up.
It's kind of funny because I think that someone had originally done it, like dispose of it, and then actually I've been approached by a homeless lady that lived there, and she had said it was hers. So we just moved along.
Give it to somebody you don't like. Yeah, it's some good stuff, man. Here you go.
It's just
Something, to be honest with you, most of the time when it comes to requests and things like that, which I know that was downstairs.
yeah, it was bathroom.
Yeah, that was bathroom or even the employee only door.
That's true.
So,
And they can probably hear the music and stuff in the background.
oh yeah.
So what do you think it is?
But usually when it comes to something like that, a lot of times there may have been something deeper, secrets and things that did not want to be let out.
Yeah.
Because usually when somebody's that defensive, that protective of something, it's something that they never wanted to be found out.
Exactly. So I felt that it was probably good to abide by their wishes. So
It probably was
yeah.
on that, because if it was actually showing that much attention to you just rifling through it, yeah.
well, he also knew that I was an author, because I thought, oh wow, it's like, oh, what great pictures, what a story there is to tell you, and I would say that. So, it's just one of these things that it's never happened to me, that kind of thing, paranormal events never happened to me before. So I just had to, I was open to it, and I was attuned to what was going on around me and the animals. But it did seem to affect my animals to a different degree than any other incidences, other than the whole.
They sent us a thread. They didn't
claim they can see it before we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were the ones that seemed to be more uptight than me. Even though a couple of things happened to me, I would leave, I'd come back, and they were super, like barking and like agitated and like, oh, they got home. So I felt that maybe they were being a little bit, whatever's around was bothering them. Yeah, bothering them. So I'm kind of glad it's gone. But yeah, I definitely pay attention to the animals and how they react to things. Cause man, you can't. I could make my dogs do anything I want them to do.
Yeah, they claim you can look back behind the
Yeah,
ears.
Stacy just said, yeah, he could hear the music.
Yeah.
Stacy.
Oh, Stacy.
What's happening, Stace? Give a quick shout out. Adara, how you doing? Adara says, hey, Melissa.
Hi. How y'all doing?
And hello, everyone that's jumped on. Everybody, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. And yes, as we're telling the ghost stories, we have had some weird things happening up here. We've had a knock over here at the door, at the entryway. And, we can tell the difference when it's a knock at the entryway as opposed to something that's going on downstairs. So, yeah, we're able to debunk it. We've kind of been seeing things around. We've all gotten uneasy feelings of things walking around and moving around behind us.
Dark in some corners. It's so dark.
Yes.
It's you can't see through
and even as we're sitting here, there's a chill beginning to creep into the attic. Yeah. I said that and something moved over there.
Perfect.
It's on y'all side.
Yes. See, you're getting a ghost story within the ghost stories. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, Bridget's on.
Oh, hey, she's awake.
All right. So, we don't know if this is coming to get us. I dare it.
We're good.
But anyway, what I was saying. Anyway, but as I said, whatever it is, it's probably just checking us out like we're checking it out.
Because nothing's been up here, probably. Nobody's been here.
Yeah, we're actually. This is like again, like I explained in the beginning. That was a weird sound. That didn't belong downstairs. It was kind of like a squeal if you heard it.
And the knock here was on the inside of the door.
Yes, it was. Anyway, tonight's story. Good job.
What you want to say? I'm using my flash to kind of flash in the corners to see what we can
creepy.
see.
That's the creepiest. Like with a flash, you see something that's pitch dark. I'm like, well, great, there's something in the corner. We don't know where it's at now.
Oh, God.
I've done that. I've done that before with the lightning flash. I was telling you about that the other week.
Oh, yeah, we'd walk from the river and stand that, the lightning would flash.
Oh, yeah.
You look real quick. I'd always walk backwards from the river. William's always like, come on, bring it, demons.
Y'all supposed to walk backwards.
Yeah. Now for the final story. Except for the one we're living.
Wait a minute.
I feel colder now. I feel
It does.
I don't know if there's no air conditioning
It is chill.
here.
No.
Did you notice that the lights seem to dim a
But
bit?
it feels good.
Yeah, I actually saw the cameras move earlier too.
It feels good actually because it is actually hot up here.
That's why I had to adjust them for you to get back in the camera.
It's
So
not hot,
Yeah.
but it's kind of stuffy.
But
There's
I've
like
noticed.
a chill. I can feel it in my left hand. There's like in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
When you hit or in the ocean, you hit a cold spot.
Yes.
That's what it felt like. You need to go over there.
anyway, for our last story. There once was a house out on the outskirts of town. It was a haunted house where every night a bloody head would fall down the chimney. A rich man offered $200 to anyone who would be brave enough to stay an entire night in the place. And nobody would do it, but this little boy and his dog. This little boy said he would do it on one condition, and he could bring his dog. And so it was set.
What's it like keep doing? See, what's the one this one? What's the one that one?
Yeah, the same. It's focusing. And so it was set. The boy entered the house with his dog the following night. He got the fire going, made everything cozy, and everything seemed to be going very nicely. But then, shortly after midnight, he heard a voice calling, singing softly, faint, down near the woods. He did God a walker. Not some, no. But even stranger still. His dog reached up, leaned up his head as if to howl, and sang, Ichi, Ichi, Kali, Mali, Dingo, Dingo. The boy was taken aback, for his dog had never even uttered a word in his life before. And yet here he had sang on the stanza. A few minutes later, he heard the voice again, and it sounded like it was in the backyard. And so he reached over, he was trying to pet his dog and do what he could to keep it from going, because he was afraid maybe whoever was outside would hear the dog and try to come in after him. But the dog ignored him, and it went on anyway, tilted back its head. Inchi, Inchi, Kali, Mali, Dingo, Dingo. And the boy was taken aback, and he waited, and all was quiet for a while. Then about 30 minutes later, the voice was closer to the house, and it called out, Me de Daughty walker. And he tried to stop his voice, but it didn't stop the dog, and the dog sang out louder than ever. Linchi kichi kale mali dingo, dingo. And then a few minutes later, he heard the voice again. This time it was coming down the chimney. Meaty Daughty walk. And the dog sang right back. Linchi kichi kali mali dingo, dingo. Just as the dog finished what he was saying, a bloody head fell out of the chimney, landed just missing the fire pit. The dog took one look, yelped, and fell over dead from fright. The head rolled over and looked at the boy and opened its mouth as if to sing once again, and just ah!
It was coming. It was coming.
Dang it!
People downstairs are like, what in the world is going on up there?
Yes. We're good. Let them wonder. Maybe they'll look and find out. And that was an adaptation of Meaty Daughty Walker from the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I have always loved that story and just thought it would be, we were in the perfect environment and with a great company to tell that story.
Yeah, you knew. I'm jumping everything.
But it's fun. It's so much fun. Hey, we can do something with that. So,
yeah.
But we'd like to thank you, each and every one. I would like to thank you, Melissa.
Well, thank you. It was fun.
I thank Clint.
Well, thank you for having me. Come on.
Hey, I'm glad to enjoy it. We have to do it again sometime. And keep an eye out again on the Cantankerous Cauldron and here on W.R. Frady's Instagram and on Facebook on W.R. Frady. Mel and I are talking about doing.
We're talking about doing like a launch from our normal podcast and
a spin-off.
A spin-off pretty much to focus on all things like paranormal and writing stories and thrillers. Going to events like Comic-Cons and things like that. We thought we'd like to focus on that. And we have some great ideas.
Some fun guests on.
Some fun guests and. He's a really talented artist as well, so if you're interested in learning to possibly draw, you might have some tips on that. So we hope you'll join us on that when we get ready to launch it.
So stay tuned, stay updated. Be sure to follow, if you're not following, make sure to follow me on Instagram, WR Frady, or on Facebook, /w.com/WR Frady. And then Melissa?
I have a website, melissajacksonauthor.com. All of my social media is on there, so you can just click through Facebook, Instagram, you name it. But we're also hoping to launch a YouTube channel.
And
some videos of.
This guy may join us in
Yes.
on a few of them as well. I mean, who knows? He might even decide to become a part
That's
of it.
right. That's right.
That'd be good. Absolutely. And one of the fun things about it, if we can do this podcast, we could even possibly just do little ghost hunts, just for the fun of it, just as a podcast. Just do live ghost hunts
and have guests on to do some live guests,
So it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Back in the day.
And you can enjoy us for the quirky fun and things that might go on. And so there's something to keep an eye out for the future beyond the W.R. Frady's live ghost stories by the Fireside. And which we would probably want to try to bring back some of the Friday Night Frights. But
absolutely.
But to keep it separate from what we do with Mickey, we'll have another name for it.
We'll have something
So
different.
that'll be in order. And if you have any suggestions for such a name, feel free to drop suggestions. We'd love to find out. And if you do, then we'll make sure that you get a recognition for the name.
Exactly.
Frady's Frights.
There we go. And then, again, we would love to extend a warm thank you to Mario Mastrelli for allowing us to be a part and to have and host us here in the Granite Falls Brewing Company in this forgotten attic, where there's been a lot of things that have been going on.
And it's a beautiful facility. They showcase a lot of art here, so local artists, you get to partake of that. But it's a beautiful facility.
Oh, Monday night, they have Monday night music bingo.
Oh, yeah.
So they come in and it's the whole thing. You don't just fill up one line, you fill up the whole sheet. And like last time I was here for a Monday night, it was 90s hits. So they would go through and they'd play clips from the night. They would play music clips from the songs, and you'd have to remember the song and kind of mark off what it was until you had all your.
Well, that's pretty cool, because I mean, how can you have a bad night? If you know everybody's singing all the words to the songs.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. I mean, there are a lot of fun things going on. They have live music. Mario is a really good friend, and Yeah, he's super chill dude.
Oh,
super
they do
chill dude.
have they're pet friendly as well. I noticed that they have like a patio area. You can bring your pet,
Yes.
a pet menu.
Especially outside.
Yes.
I was excited about that. Bring my little puppy with me next
Oh
time.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No, you might find a growl or something.
Oh, ooh. It's an
Only
idea.
if maybe only if you brought it up here in the attic.
Maybe.
As long as you stay up in the attic, we're good.
Yeah.
We'll be finishing up soon.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, well, it's exciting. Stay tuned.
It is, and a lot of fun. Again, would like to thank for the refreshments. The Clint's was provided. Clint had a brew that was, I can't remember the name right off, but it was a gluten-free beer that was provided by Mario. Mel and I had a Pinot red that was provided also by Mario.
Thank you so much.
And it's been a real treat. It's been great having him on. He was excited. For anyone who was keeping up with the Coach Mickey, Mel and Friends podcast, we had been talking about this was planned out way in advance for the three of us to come up and do this. And when things had kind of tapered off for a while.
Right, we have a short hiatus, so we're going to kind of work on this leg, and then it's going to be a beautiful 2023, especially.
And the rest of 2022.
That's right.
Absolutely.
More months. Oh.
We've got NaNoWriMo coming up.
Oh yes, that's
Fun.
That's going to be great. I got some good stories coming up. So.
Absolutely, very good. Very.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. And we gotta brainstorm on some good ideas and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, and then Clint, you'll always see Clint on, and you may see Clint on one more.
I make TikToks. That's all I do.
Well, there's one thing more that you may see Clint again.
Oh yeah.
For the final Friday that we do the
Is that going to Friday before Halloween?
The Friday before
Yes,
Halloween.
Yeah, I'm for it, thankfully.
Okay. We're going to try and get a large portion of my Lacey Road gang together to talk about our experiences with Lacey Road. Melissa, you're welcome to join us again.
Love to.
And in this case, we're trying to hook up a special location, but I'm not going to disclose that just yet until I know it's in place. But we will be doing the get-together session for this.
Mm-hmm.
And it promises to be a lot of fun because you'll get to hear from the proverbial horse's mouth some of the stories that make up the Legends of Lacey Road. So it will be the Legends of Return to Lacey Road Part 2. Your first Return to Lacey Road was the night that Clint was joining me.
Nice.
So,
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We'll call this one the Lacey Road Reunion.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Sounds like a
excited.
movie. Return to Lacey Road. That could be a movie.
That could be
It
a
could
movie.
be a movie, absolutely.
Bam! I caught it.
There you go. Oh, I'm excited to hear it too. I think the audience will as well.
I think they will. So
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. So we'd like to do that. Like to make a few shout outs. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to make before we get started?
Oh, I just want to wish a dear friend of mine, Jules, a happy birthday. Love ya. So yeah, I got all kinds of people. Everybody, hi.
That's a short, sweet to the
That's short,
point.
sweet to the point. Might as well.
Clint?
Might as well.
My wife, I believe she may still be here. Bridget, is she in here? She supports my idiotic stuff. So.
All right. And I'd like to give a shout out to everyone. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my gym bros that has been a lot of fun talking to lately, and he's one of my newer followers, and which is Gavin Nichols. I'd like to say, hey man, what's up? Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Adara, who has been on the last few times that we have, who's been on the last few times that we have been on. to Stacy, who is one of the Lacey Road gang, is on with us. And then we've had, I can't see everybody. The phones are way back. So if I can't see and say who all's on. Ah, yes. Yeah, she said she's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
She still has her funny name.
All right, for everyone that has joined in, thank you for joining us. I'd like to give a good shout out to my good friend Chad of Moonrunner 83. He's got a new single coming out in the next week or so called Love Like the 80s. Make sure to be ready to listen to that. It'll be up on all streaming services. Also, I'd like to again extend a shout out to Lynette Drakenblood, a good friend, wonderful model, wonderful photographer, an artist. She's got her calendars up for sale,
nice.
so go to LynetteDrakenblood.com or to her link tree, and I'll have that information posted in the credits below to find it. When you see the calendars, she puts all the effort into making these calendars. She sets the shots up. She does her makeup. She sets the shots up. She takes the pictures, and then she does all the editing, artwork, and things behind it. It is phenomenal. She ranges from everything from fantasy to gothic to cyberpunk.
You have to have her on for sure.
Oh man, I would love to get Lynette on here. She would probably have to join us through the voice from Spain.
Yep.
She lives in Madrid or Barcelona. So she lives in Spain, and she's a really sweet, really good girl. So
nice.
and a good friend. But also, I would like to give a shout out to the Be Your Own Hero Productions. Be sure to stay tuned and watch your streaming services and watch their. Be sure to watch. That may have been. Okay, maybe not. Because I thought maybe it was my hand doing it. Anyway, but be sure to stay tuned and watch your streaming services, as well as the WR Frady pages on Instagram and Facebook, and even on the Cantankerous Cauldron and Wolf Moon Studios, because coming soon is Stroh's Sinister Cinema. And Stroh's Sinister Cinema is a series that is done in the tradition of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and the old Elvira shows where she would host a movie. And how the movie, they would come in, they would introduce and do a movie, have a storyline going on, and then whatever the movie was playing also affected what was going on in the storyline. It's done in the tradition of things like that.
Improv?
It was very much improv, and so much fun. And so it will be coming to a streaming service near you, hopefully, if everything goes accordingly, by Halloween.
Oh, sweet.
So be watching for that.
You gonna make any appearances? Maybe somebody can come across.
Actually, I'll be making an appearance at the Renaissance Festival in the Be Your Own Hero section, where we do on Time Travelers Weekend.
Oh.
Come back for the hero training. I will be back in that area, and I will actually be one of the villains or heroes helping train the characters this time, helping train the new heroes of the future. Let's see. There'll be Charlotte Comic-Con coming up, and such. And another little shout out I'd like to give, which is just right up the road from us, is Lake Hickory Haunts. Be sure to go there. 13 haunts for one price. Excellent effects, fun, and things. So be good for the whole family, especially if you love horror. So be sure to go check them out as well. All right.
We're not going to talk about that behind you. Look at this. What does that look like?
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Well, that didn't help.
What does it look like?
It looks like somebody.
It's like blood.
Yeah.
It looks like blood spatter under the plastic.
That does.
It's
It
outside
really
the
does.
tape right there. Look. Yeah, up there. It's on the outside. Look at that.
That is pretty bizarre. Okay, just to let
We
you
just
know,
now noticed this.
Clint's a officer in Granite Falls, so him to be noticing this.
It's not just like it doesn't look like water's dripping. It doesn't look like mold or mildew. It looks like
It looks like
blood.
somebody's like.
It's like somebody had their head smashed against the wall.
Well, we might have to do some research.
I don't know how we didn't notice that. I looked over and I said, we're not going to talk about the blood dripping down the thing.
It definitely has been an interesting night, and this has been a wonderfully fun special episode because we've had some events that we weren't planning
No.
to happen, and this is just, we plan to come up, tell ghost stories, and do like we normally do every Friday night, and we've had some extra fun pop in, things happen.
And we're not looking for stuff.
No,
we're
no,
not
we're
trying
not.
to make it happen. We're just sitting here chilling,
Yeah.
and then boom, hear a knock, and we see
We're-
a shadow over here, and creepy corner back here.
Or the phones taking pictures on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was wild. There is probably, how many pictures was on there? About
Probably
Oh
7,
my
10?
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It just kept going and going.
I mean, it just kept
There's no way.
clap, snap, snap, snap,
And
snap.
it was
doing-
right there, where the crime
Yeah.
scene is.
Actually, that
Oh,
is.
right, right.
So, yeah,
You have to
it's
tell Mario,
definitely
dude.
been.
It's kind of weird.
It was definitely an
Yeah.
adventure up here, and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
You have to.
So I would like to extend a special thank you to our special guest that has been joining us up here, even though we can't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know he's nearby too. So anyway,
And if they want to say hello, they can. This is your opportunity to say
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
I always say
Just
that.
don't turn
I'm the one that stirs the pot.
yeah, just come in, just a hand and wave. Just don't set off the cameras again.
on.
But thank you.
Thanks.
And with that being said, we're going to sign off for this evening. Get ready to go down and enjoy the fun and amenities of the bar. Hope you have a wonderful, safe weekend. Thank you again for joining us here by the Fireside. Be sure to tune in next Friday night for another live ghost stories by the Fireside. You never know who might join me again. And yet, here we are. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Alyssa?
Have a happy Halloween and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Clint?
All right, peace out, guys. Thanks for hanging.
This is W.R. Frady saying, see you in the shadows. Till then.